Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and I'm back from vacation. I've missed you all terribly. I put a little virtual souvenir for everybody on the community page of this channel if you want to go check it out. I've missed you all. It was a long 2 weeks. I missed the last two dev streams, and upon my return I saw a lot of you requested that even though you had seen the last two dev streams, that you wanted me to recap them with my thoughts. So I caught up on the two dev streams that I missed last week, and I guess we'll do that now. Today is dev stream number 100 later today, and there's going to be a special guest, and I'll be recapping that dev stream as well. But first we'll tackle 98 and 99. So I did miss some things that came out on the last two dev streams. Not as bad as what happened to me last year. Last year when I was on vacation, The Doctor was released, so I missed that entirely. I didn't think there was going to be very much information between now and June when the new chapter releases, but there was some significant stuff that came out in these last two dev streams. So they all but confirmed that they're working on some new maps for the existing locations. They said it's more difficult to create new maps for the licensed locations, such as Lambkin Lane and Badham Preschool, because of the licensing deals involved. I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibilities, but they said it's more likely that we would see new maps for the original killer locations. So that would be Crotus Pren, Red Forest, Laray's Memorial Institute, those kind of single map locations. We might see secondary maps for those places, which will be very welcome. So in this next clip from dev stream number 98, Stefan Horvath mentions that there is a Dead Hard exploit that they're working on.
When we were looking at Dead Hard to fix the Dead Hard exploits where, you know, I don't know if you heard about this, but you can get on top of objects and whatnot with Dead Hard. You can subscribe to the Survivor Space program and bounce off objects and launch yourself up onto things as well.
So you can get up on stuff with Dead Hard, you don't say, huh? Anyway, I'm glad to see that they are finally working on this. I don't believe that Stefan would have mentioned it unless they had a solution in the works. This is something I've known about for well over 6 months. In fact, I did Kill Your Friends one-on-one with Usiles to show YouTuber Usiles, if you know who they are, to show him how it was done so that he could report it, because he was closer to the devs than I was at the time. He had their ear, so he recorded a video and submitted it to try and get this corrected, because it can be exploited in real games. So whenever you see me do the glitch videos and stuff, I always try to be very careful to only show you things that can be only achieved in Kill Your Friends, because I don't want that to leak into the regular game and hurt the integrity of the game. So, like things like 5-killer glitch that can't happen in the real game, so it doesn't hurt the integrity of the game. I like to show you guys how to do stuff with your friends for fun, but I don't like to show you how to do stuff that makes you toxic in a real game and hurts other people's experience, strangers' experience in the game. Anything that we do in Kill Your Friends is something that we've all agreed to do together for fun, and I never want to teach anybody how to do something that can exploit the fun of a stranger in a real game. So, if you may have seen some of my still shots in the past of me having characters up on stuff, but I never ever wanted to show you guys how to do it because I didn't want you to get banned. I actually know people, nobody that you know, who have gotten banned for doing this exploit in real matches. So it isn't something that you want to do in a real game, because you will get banned for it. I know people who have done it and received the penalty. So I've never done it in a real game. I only do it for fun with friends, and unfortunately I've never been able to show it to you up to this point because I didn't want to teach people how to do bad things that could be translated into the real game. And Kill Your Friends, it's for fun and everybody's agreed to do it, but when somebody takes it to the next level and they start using it against strangers, that's where it crosses the line. So I never wanted to teach you guys how to do it. Hopefully when it is corrected, I can share some of that fun footage with you in the future. But it sounds like Stefan is working on it, and they finally have it where they're going to be able to make it so that you can't do that anymore. So Matt Walker's been working hard on changing the pallet looping areas, And they showed a little clip of this, and what I saw was that they raised the verticality of some of the boxes in the loop so that you can't always keep your eyes on the killer, and it's going to be more of a mind game now. Did the killer double back? Are they still following me? So it's going to make it more difficult to circle, which I thought was a very simple but impressive change to the pallet loops that I saw, and I think it's going to be a welcome addition. And on top of that, they've also put in some changes for the pallet vacuum. I'm going to show you a video of that now.
Yeah. So the pull down across, obviously you're going to have to move completely across and then drop the pallet. If you wanted to drop it on one side, all you need to do is press the button and you will be dropping it on your side. Yeah. What's interesting is you'll always be doing the pull down with the spin.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Right? The reason for the pull down for the spin is, and I'll show you again, because we can do that, is so that you can continue running. There shouldn't be a pause time. It should feel super smooth, and you can keep going, and it will be nice. Obviously, this is tweaking at this point, but it should feel pretty damn awesome.
So you can see here that there's going to be a change in the way that you pull down pallets. You're going to have to go all the way to the other side of the pallet before you pull it down. There isn't going to be any vacuum anymore that you could just spam the space bar and get sucked through and throw down the pallet. There's going to be actually a dead zone in the middle of the pallet, so you have to pick a side and be on the side before you can throw down the pallet. I guess what happened in the past is that if you were running at a pallet and went to throw it down, you would flip to the other side. It would just keep your inertia going. And now if you're on this side of the pallet and you throw it down, you're going to stay on that side. You're not going to get sucked to the other side, which that's going to work out pretty good for me because I'm notorious for always running at the pallet and ending up on the wrong side of the pallet, the side that I don't want to be on. And it wasn't until recently when I was watching one of Pupper's streams that he explained to a viewer that that's why that happens. I'm like, oh, it's because I'm running at the pallet that's making me flip. And I never knew that. So it worked well for me against Myers, but against every other killer, it was a disaster. So pallets are changing. They got a new animation to flip it down. I think this is going to be a good change to get rid of that vacuum. And it's going to be more beneficial for killers because people are going to have to go that extra distance to get to the opposite side of the pallet before they can throw it down. So that's going to be more time for the killer to hit people. So I think that's a great change too. I'm really impressed by these last two dev streams and the changes that they put in. I guess I shouldn't say the changes that they put in because they did say that all of this stuff is going to need to be PTB to make sure that it works. So there's going to be a public test build before this stuff goes live to just make sure it works the way that they think and they want it to, which is great. So I look forward to playing that PTB and seeing what these changes are like. So I think that about covers it for DevStream 98. Let's move on to DevStream 99. They mentioned that today for DevStream number 100, there's going to be a special guest. Now, I'm recording this before 2 o'clock when DevStream number 100 begins, but I don't know if it'll be uploaded for you to view. You may very likely be watching this after 2 o'clock, and you may already know who this special guest is, but as of my recording this, I have no idea who it is, and I'm racking my brain trying to think, who could the special guest be for this DevStream? Like, is it going to be the entity itself? Like, I don't know. Who's going to impress us and knock off our socks that we can meet on this DevStream 100? I know it's like a celebratory thing, so it's going to be like Jamie Lee Curtis who's going to come on and say that she signed over her likeness rights for mature Lori for the game. That would be amazing. That would blow my mind. I might be reaching a little too far. Reach for the stars on that one. I don't know if that's in the possibilities, but I'm trying to think, who could it be? And like, somebody who would impress us. I have no clue, but my guess would be that it would be somebody who is part of an intellectual property in the game, like one of the licensed. Could it be Licensed Survivor? Could it be Quentin? Or would it be Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy? I don't think so. I'm really racking my brain who it could be. Shawnee Smith, that'd be great. If she's Amanda Young from Saw, that would be impressive. I have no idea, but I guess we'll find out. Let's see who that special guest is. So there are a lot of work in progress things that they are exploring that are going to need testing to see if they are viable to bring to the game. One of those things is a bloodlust change. They want to change the increments in which you achieve bloodlust. So it's going to be shorter time to get bloodlust with smaller speed increments. Rather than the 15 seconds, take you 45 seconds to get to bloodlust 3. They want to shorten those increments, but with a smaller speed increase. So that's one of the things they're working on. Another thing that they're working on is this Decisive Strike rework. I've heard it called a nerf. I've heard it called a buff. It's actually a rework. So I'm going to show you this video of the new Decisive Strike right now. So first, let me say, when you see that giant skill check, that isn't going to be the way it is in the game. They're going to replace the skill check with a button. Similar to how you hit E right now for dead hard. Let's say you hit R to perform your Decisive Strike. So it's going to be automatic. So I think that's great because it's going to eliminate the juggle. Nobody's ever going to be able to be juggled to not hit their Decisive Strike anymore, which is good for survivors. The downside of Decisive Strike for survivors is once you trigger that Decisive Strike, you're going to enter into a no-mither state where you cannot be fully healed for the rest of the match. You may have seen the status icon in the status bar that showed that once the Decisive was hit, it had the no heal symbol on the character. So they can't be healed for the rest of the match, the same way that a no-mither character can't be fully healed throughout the game. But you aren't going to get any benefits that come along with the no-mither perk when you hit this Decisive. You're still going to bleed normally and groan out in pain normally, and of course you're not going to be able to pick yourself up from the down state because it's Decisive. It isn't no-mither. Now, if you are running no-mither, then of course you aren't going to get any of this penalty, which may make a little no-mither Decisive Strike build meta, perhaps, because it won't affect you negatively in any way if you have Decisive with no-mither, because the no-mither will supersede that and will suppress your bleeding and groaning, and you'll still be able to pick yourself up from the down state. So I would assume that the other survivors are going to be able to see that you can't be fully healed, the same way that a no-mither person can't be fully healed once you hit this Decisive Strike. Now, there's no word if the killer is going to be able to see that you can't be fully healed anymore, the way they can see that a no-mither character can't be fully healed anymore, which I wish wasn't the case, but that's the way it is. It'll be interesting to see if the killer just has to remember who hit them with the Decisive Strike, or if that information is going to be provided to them to show that that person can't be fully healed anymore and they can tunnel them. I don't know. We do know that they have the ability to show the killer and the survivors different things. An example of that would be that we can't see who the obsession is unless we are the obsession, but the killer can see who the obsession is. And Amanda, as the pig, can't see survivors' timers on reverse bear traps ticking down the way that we can. So we know that there is a possibility to show different information to the survivors and the killers, but it remains to be seen if they will decide to keep this anonymous for people who hit Decisive Strike to show who it was that they can't be healed, or if the killer's just going to have to remember who hit them with the DS. I think probably the killer is going to be able to see, but that remains to be seen. This is the way the Decisive Strike is proposed to change, and I think it's good. I think it helps both parties because the killers don't have to worry about somebody getting away and getting fully healed and having to knock them down twice again, in some cases with some killers, depending on who you're facing as a killer. And the survivors don't have to worry about getting juggled, and they can hit their Decisive automatically. So I think it's a benefit for both sides. It's a good start for a rework. They said this may not be enough. They may have to change it even further, depending on how powerful it winds up being after these changes are implemented. We'll have to see, but I do appreciate that they're trying something else. It's very tough for a killer who has to face 4 Decisive Strikes in a game. It's just extra catching that you have to do. It's basically extra lives. So if you face 4 survivors who are all running Decisive, it can be really tough. So the fact that you don't have to worry about the person getting fully healed is a bit of a benefit for the killers. We'll see where it goes, but that's the proposed change right now. And the other thing they showed is this hatch standoff change where the killer, if they find the hatch first, can close it. And I'll show you the video of that here.
And Andre, if you can slam that hatch.
Holy heck.
Timing. Such timing. Impeccable.
So as you can see with the stomp of his foot, Michael Myers is able to close that hatch. So what options does Dwight have to him at that point? Well, he can finish the generators and go through the exit gate, or if he finishes another generator, the hatch will open again and give him another opportunity to leave through the hatch. Of course, Myers would again be able to stomp his foot one more time and close the hatch again. So we'll just see, it'll be a game of cat and mouse, and it won't be like a 20-minute hatch standoff like the King was telling me at last night. So that's a welcome change. And they also talked about making it so that if you're the last survivor who's facing this hatch closed thing, that they would make it so that you can do generators faster. So it's basically going to be like a Left Behind for everyone. So I guess that kind of makes Bill's Left Behind perk obsolete, since everybody would be doing generators at a crazy, more efficient rate once they're the last survivor to try and get this hatch open again. So we'll see if that goes through or not. That's, again, these are all proposed changes that they want to try out. But if the hatch is closed, you can do another generator more quickly and then try for the hatch again. Or if you can do enough generators, then you can go for an exit gate. But it's going to be an extension of the game and gameplay rather than just everybody standing around looking at each other in front of the hatch. So I think that's a good idea. I'm loving all of the ideas. Like, I know everybody's like, oh man, we have to wait until June for new content, but I really, really appreciate all of these quality of life changes. I think that they're amazing, and I'm glad that they've been able to put off the content until June to work on all of these things, because it really was necessary for the health of the game, in my opinion. And then the other thing they showed is that they've added this animation in for Dead Hard, which I love, and I'll show you that here.
We're going to show a little Dead Hard animation.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you can see Dwight give out that little forearm shiver, and I love it because it fits in with David King's character, and the perk of the Dead Hard is just so sporty, and like, I'm going to give you this forearm shiver, and we're going to push on through like we're playing a game of rugby. I think it's a great animation, and it clears up a lot of stuff for the killer, in the killer's mind. They're like, whoa, how come I didn't get that hit? And you don't know, is there lag or what's going on? And that will make it very clear that the survivor has Dead Hard, used Dead Hard, so you would know to expect it in the future, try to get them to waste it. You would know why you missed. If you like, oh, did I swing too early? What happened there? When you see them do that forearm shiver, you know, okay, they used Dead Hard there. And I think that's it's a simple animation, and it's a great change. Like, I love all these simple yet impressive changes that improve the quality of the game. I just can't say enough about it. And then they also showed this little clip about how close the killer has to actually get to pick up somebody, and I'm going to show you that now.
I also want to point out that Myers is very slowly approaching me, and there's a reason for that. We adjusted the range that you can pick up survivors.
It's true.
We've heard complaints about vacuum pickups, so this is an attempt.
So right now he's spamming space.
He's spamming space right now to see how close.
It's like that.
Yeah.
This is what he's doing.
So
he's pretty close. He's stepping on my feet.
you're saying we are fixing the vacuum pallets and the vacuum pickup.
I think we are.
So you can see there that Myers has to basically stand on top of Dwight to pick him up, which is a great change, that you don't have this vacuum where a lot of times you would try and put yourself in a pallet to force the killer to enter so that somebody could do a pallet stun and save you. But some of these killers are so savvy that they know they can vacuum you right out of the pallet to pick you up and not even give you anybody the chance to pallet stun them. So this is forcing the killer to get closer to the survivor to pick them up, which is going to be great in some flashlight and pallet situations. And they also want to address the vacuum of the hook, where if they get close enough that they can just vacuum you onto the hook. Some of those situations where you feel your struggle on your wiggle bar and then you get hooked anyway. Hopefully that'll address some of that. So that covers all of these. Like, not all of these are going to be in the next chapter. Some of them are going to need further working. They're going to be in the public test build to test to make sure they work. But they're all really good ideas, I think. And I think McLean put it best when he said that we're we're rich in ideas. So it's just a matter of working them out, making them work in the game. And I look forward to all of them. I was very impressed with these 2 dev streams for the quality of life changes. Again, I'll say it again. It's not new content, but it's better quality game changes and improvements. So I think it's all amazing. And I think that's all I have for you. So thanks as always for watching. And let's see what happens with dev stream number 100 and the special guest. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.